Hello everyone, my name is Jaydeep and I am technical architect at Globant. We at Globant are constantly evaluating next generation technology trends because the future is undoubtedly exciting. One such trend that we are very particularly enthusiastic about is Web 3.0. In today's talk, I am going to talk more about evolution of Web 1.0 to 3.0, and also I'll be focusing on the new technology avenues that I think are going to play a major role in Web 3.0 adoption. Let's look at the evolution of the web. Web 1.0, it was just about read only and static pages. Only one way of publishing medium and didn't allow much functionality or flexibility to the users and only connected to the world with just hyperlinks and bookmarks. Early on those days, we couldn't even attach images to email as well. Web 2.0. It's all about interactivity, social connectivity, and user generated content. Web 2.0 makes it possible for user generated content to be viewed by millions of people around the world virtually and instantly. Innovation such as smartphones, mobile internet access, and social networks have driven the exponential growth of Web 2.0. Web 3.0 concepts aims to create a decentralized but secure internet in which people can securely exchange money and information without the need of centralized agencies. You must be having one question in your mind. Things are going great with the current iterations of the web, then why do we need major correction here? Let's look at some of the interesting facts here. More than 50% of the world's population lives online today. Today, it has evolved from being luxury to becoming a necessity today. And do you know that 42% of the traffic on the internet is driven by bots? Scary, right? Think about all not so real news floating around on the internet. The current web is full of misinformation and insufficient accountability. The existing design of the web is flawed. There is no mechanism to validate or authenticate the source and the flow of information. The authenticity of people and content is becoming a real challenge. The major challenge with web today is that it cannot guarantee data privacy as it is controlled by centralized agencies. You have to register for particular services before you can use it. You offer your private data access to its functionality. Remember the terms and conditions in almost every applications which you click. I agree without reading them in most cases. Sir Tingersleys, who is fondly known as the father of the World Wide Web, highlighted three major challenges of the web today. First, we have lost control of personal data. Second, it's too easy for misinformation to spread on the web. Third, political advertising online needs transparency and understanding. So, um, in his words, there is a need to correct this midway course so that web can serve humanity in the right way. We should be able to use the web without feeling that somebody is looking our shoulder. At the same time, we have to be conscious of the potential downside of anonymity. The next iteration of web has to have decentralization, digital identity, security, and privacy as its core elements. Fundamentally, um, you as a user uh, are in control of your data and will decide who can access it. The whole web have users who will have wide options to choose their services and with fully interoperable standards. For example, uh, Instead of just using single sign-on logging that can monitor your activity on the internet, a user can bring any open standard and can access anything on the internet, and at the same time we can control the data. So we are at very early stage of defining Web 3.0, and it's difficult to come up with one concrete definition. And this definition will keep evolving over time. Fundamentally, one can think of following as the core components of Web 3.0. The first is decentralized. Instead of large percentage of the internet being controlled and owned by centralized entities, ownership gets distributed amongst its builders. Second, permissionless. Everyone has equal participate in Web 3.0 and no one gets excluded. Third, native payments. Since it uses cryptocurrency for spending and sending money online instead of relying on outdated infrastructure of banks and payment processes. Fourth, trustless. It operates using incentives and economic mechanism based on conscious uh, framework instead of relying trusted third party. Moving on. Now let's understand layered architecture design for early Web 1.0 to 3.0. As you can see here, it is categorized in three parts: interface, logic, and data, and how uh, we are moving towards AR, VR, IoT, AI, and blockchain for Web 3.0. I'll take a moment here to go through this chart. Taking cue from previous layered architecture design, let's break it down the ecosystem of Web 3.0. Data tier, distributed ledgers, NFTs, tokenized life, cryptocurrencies. But the real power of blockchain is much more. It is content for storing your identity and you being in control of it. Think of all the initiatives that built on decentralization around digital identity to solve data privacy problems, including Thales, Solid, Microsoft Decentralized, and many more. Cryptographically verifiable by anyone. Who you say you are. Cognitive tier. Artificial intelligence and machine learning has grown, but it's time to think about ethics. It's time for ethical AI. The AI is going to be as good as the information it is fed. So, if the data is verifiable and validated, the AI will be more real and accurate. Quantum computing, energy efficient, sustainable AI will enable building systems that are more diverse and inclusive. Physical tier, rise of 5G, IoT proliferation, digital twin, the rise of edge computing and fog computing. Think of self driving cars where decisions are made on the edge. Think of fully automated factory for managing millions of packages daily in the warehouse. Spatial tier, the metaverse has been touted as a gateway to virtual world, but the spatial web of the future is not just going to be purely virtual. We are heading towards a fully immersive web that will fuse physical and virtual worlds together. Computing has to become invisible. We would want computers to be amiable and interact with us humanly. Just do not look at the metaverse as a social connection mechanism, but more of immersive experience. help us to interact with the world in the way we cannot do it in reality. It also gamifies and enhance our interactions. I would focus on a fully immersive experience. A fully immersive experience would be able to encompass every single sense and interact directly with the brain and nerve systems. For example, when you greet someone in the metaverse with hi-fi or handshake, you'll be able to feel their hand devices that uses ultrasonic waves to create sensation of touch or brain machine interface can make the virtual experience feel real. Similarly, our world, enriched by artificial intelligence and can be an equal to the virtual world. We will see the rise of smart glasses and augmented reality contact lenses as an hands-free alternative to the smartphones. This AR experience will be context-driven to provide us with a spatially intelligent interactions with the world around us. Moving forward, I would focus on these areas to watch. The first one is ambient computing. We are now in the decade of ambient computing. It's all about AI decisions made without human involvement, and it has a big implications for the world of technology. Second, invisible computing. Uh, Invisible computing is the power to shift our focus from technology and back to the world around us. It can also be contextual, sensing what is around us by helping us responding dynamically and freely. Take the information and insights with us wherever we go. Imagine what if technology could provide data directly to someone's visual field and make all those devices, headsets disappear. Effective computing. How would your computer respond if you look excited or happy? Could your could your smart home adjust the music, lightings, or other aspects of the environment around you after, let's say, you have had a bad day at work, and that too without being asked? It's all about emotional AI, where machine interprets the emotional state of humans and adapts its behavior to that. So the fundamentals of Web 3.0 point to how it can revolutionize and how the internet is designed and used by users. Proponents of Web 3.0 come from a lot of different schools of thought, but they all agree on one thing: the web should be owned by users. People would try the new decentralized solutions, and the interest of the users in crypto and NFTs proves the same. The inevitable nature of change in working of the internet and how users interact with one of the foundational pillars of Web 3.0. The answers to how will Web 3.0 change the world are important for every internet user. Web 3.0 not only guarantees the ownership of your data, assets, or digital identities, but also enables the benefit of data privacy. Every change is the first met with some amount of cynicism, disbelief, and doubt, and the same applies to Web 3.0. One thing is certain, though, that this change is inevitable. Business can no longer afford to build a business model built on infringing on users' data or privacy. I repeat, businesses can no longer afford to build their business model built on infringing on users' data and privacy. Let me know how you see Web 3.0 in the future. Thank you, and let's build the Web 3 community even stronger.